A small crowd has already formed in front of the theater when Ash and I arrive. The Liftfest, short for Luxborn Independent Film and Theater Festival, attracts a bigger crowd annually, and this year's no different. I've only been to a few indie film screenings with Zach, so I'm not an expert on the matter. But I know that for people hoping to make a break in the industry, getting your film recognized by a local event like this is already a big deal. Especially for a newcomer like Zach. He hasn't even won an award, but just gained a confirmation letter that the festival committee wants to include his movie in this year's lineup. Already put a grin on his face for weeks. Speaking of the guy, he's impossible to miss. At 6 feet, he appears to loom over most of the moviegoers, and with his large build and heavy voice, there's no surprise when people give him a wide berth as they pass by. So this may trigger some Europeans, but this is something that may not actually be known too often out west. In the West, we are generally taller than the Europeans, so 6 feet is pretty tall for them. This goes back to the whole Napoleon thing, how people perceive him as being really tiny. By our standards, he was, but by the standards of the time, he was actually a giant. And that's pretty much what's going on here. So 6 feet, really, really tall, because you have to realize our characters are probably going to be staying at like 5'7". It's often easy to mistake him for someone intimidating at first glance. I did, back when I didn't know any better. Ash did too, I heard, once, early in their friendship.
Oh, there's Zach!
Hey, you guys! Long time no see!
Zach's face lights up with a smile of his own. He moves towards us, taking careful steps in a significant effort to make himself smaller so as to not bump or accidentally hit anyone. Typical Zach. As he nears, Ash casually raises his hand in greeting and...
Sup, Z-Man, my main man. What's crack-a-lackin', my homie?
The awkwardness that descends within the immediate vicinity of our small group is palpable enough. Somewhere to our left, a girl giggles, and only then do I become aware of my mouth hanging open. I'm almost amazed how Ash can say that out loud with a straight face. Almost. Considering his track record, I should be used to it by now. Zach seems to be.
Yo, stop trying to act black, Ashton. And you're the only one who calls me Z-Man.
There's fondness underneath his exasperated tone. If this were any other person, he'd likely be offended, but years of friendship and familiarity have made those words harmless to the other's ears. Or at least enough for both to take it in stride.
It's been a while, Zach.
I hope you didn't get into trouble again.
Not much to get into trouble lately without you, I'm afraid. I'll let you know if something comes up, though.
Nah, I ended up with chicken down stuck on me last time I agreed. I'd really love at least this year to pass without some sort of accident happening again.
Hey, I take offense to that. It wasn't that bad.
You really have no idea.
A beat passes and then Zach laughs.
Hey, I'm kidding! You know you can always count on me.
It's a story only the two of them are privy to. Every now and then, Ash will enlist Zach's help on something. Beck and I have never really found out what the real deal is with those adventures, as Ash calls it, and both aren't willing to tell due to some unspoken agreement. She insists that if it's Ash, it's likely not something illegal or life-threatening. I tend to believe her on that. Sometimes. Oh well, boys will be boys, I guess. I give Zach a small wave from behind Ash when he eventually turns his attention on me.
Bella! Huh? Rebecca's not with you. Is she still sick?
A bit. But she's up and went to work this morning. You know she doesn't listen to anyone that's not Ash.
Yes, she does.
No, she doesn't. You're literally the only person she'll listen to when she's feeling stubborn.
And it's true. They've known each other far longer than any of us in the group, childhood friends and all.
But don't worry, Zach. She's probably on her way here now. She promised she wouldn't miss your movie. Isabella! Oh, thank goodness!
Speak of the devil. Without warning, a hand grabs me by the shoulder and turns me around.
Becca, you're just in time.
I have to lean back a little with the way her face is almost invading my personal space, but she places her hand on either side of my face to keep my head still. She stares at me intently, concern filling her eyes.
Becca, you're squishing my face. How are you? Are you all right? Why wouldn't I be? Rose called me earlier.
Those 4 words tell me all I need to know. Since I don't have any family living close by, and the only other relative I have works on the other far side of the country, I gave my company Becca's contact number in case of emergency. I should have known Rose will call her. I push Becca's hands away from my face. Although she lets go, her eyebrows remain drawn together.
Oh, no, everything's good. Rose covered for me at work today. That's not what I'm talking about. How's your head?
Beside me, Ash snickers. I bite back the urge to elbow him in place of trying to avoid Becca's hand as she tries to reach out for the said area. I do my best to dodge her, all at once moving to hide behind Zach. Sorry for using you as a human shield, Zach.
Oh, it's nothing. I just slipped off a few steps on my way down. I blacked out for a few seconds and had a minor bump, but it's just that. You blacked out? It's not something to brush off. Come on, at least let me check it. It's extremely minor. You wouldn't even know it's there. Isabella, this isn't a laughing matter.
She did look pale when I saw her earlier.
Wow, thanks a lot, Ashton, you traitor. I'll get you back for this. Just you wait.
What? I'm just saying it as it is. If you mentioned this earlier, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now.
I'm sorry. Saw her?
Yeah, they arrived together. Bella looked fine to me then. I don't know.
Something crosses Becca's face, but it's gone before I can figure out what it is.
Oh, that's good. At least she didn't have to travel alone, right? At least. Good. See? I'm okay. I wouldn't be here if I wasn't. And I don't want to miss Zach's film. We can always watch it some other time. Sorry, Zachary.
No, it's good. But you guys should really keep it down. We're starting to attract some attention.
It's the premiere. The premiere's different. Right, Zach?
I shoot him a pleading look. Zach's a sensible guy. He'll understand. Please understand.
Not really. But Rebecca has a point. In the end, I think it's your call.
Oh, for heaven's sake. Please, Becca. I really don't want to miss it. You're not missing it. We're just moving it on a different day so we can have a medical professional take a look at you.
Look, you guys.
Ash's loud sigh unexpectedly cuts through the conversation. He's pinching the bridge of his nose as he speaks, something he usually does when he's getting impatient.
If she says she's okay, then there's nothing we can do about it. It's not like we can stop her either. Besides, she's still acting like the same old Isabella to me, if she can still run around like that.
Why are you taking her side?
I'm not. But if she wants to watch Zach's movie with us, I'm not going to stop her. She's probably the one looking forward to it the most.
Ash, that's... You, of all people, should know...
Tell you what, if I notice something amiss with her, I'll take her to the nearest hospital myself. Is that good enough for you?
I already know the answer before Becca voices it out. When at last she releases a deep breath and nods, albeit with great reluctance, I immediately tackle her into a hug.
Thanks, Becca. It's always been you with him, isn't it? Did you say something? Me? Nothing. Don't mind me. If you say so.
Okay, guys, showtime's close, so I think I'm gonna get us some snacks. My treat. And then let's head inside. Anyone here has a smaller bill?
I think I do. Hold on.
I pull myself off Becca to get my wallet from my bag, and
What's this?
it's already in Ash's hands before I can even react. Behind him, Becca and Zach are both giving the piece of paper an intrigued look.
No! Give it back!
It's just a paper.
I don't care! Give it!
Looks ancient, too. Why do you keep this around?
I try to reach for it, but he holds the paper way above his head. I have never been particularly sensitive with my own height, but right now I really wish I have that advantage over him.
Don't open it!
What's the big deal? It's not like it's a love letter. I don't see any reason to... Hold on a second. This is, isn't it?
Even if it is, it's not for you.
Okay. Now I'm curious.
I'm telling you, it's nothing like that. It's...
The rest of my words are lost when he unfolds the paper. I can't breathe. My heart feels stuck in my throat, pounding, threatening to burst out. Vaguely, I note how my hands are trembling at my sides. Clasping them together doesn't do any good. They are still shaking, but I hang on to it regardless. The awful, sick weight that has taken its core in my stomach back in the open house returns full force. How do I fix this? How do I fix this? How do I fix this? Someone, please. Today's turning out to be a horrible nightmare.
Send this to 5 people or else. Well, that's interesting.
Guys, I think we should listen to Bella first.
Aren't you a few days early for Halloween?
Ash waves the paper in front of me, giving me a fleeting glimpse of its contents. I don't need to see. I don't want to see. The letters, the words, every stroke written in blood is already embedded in my mind. Maybe I should have just thrown it away when I had the chance. That way.
It's not a prank.
It makes all of them stop. Even I'm surprised with how steady my voice is.
What did you say?
This isn't a prank! I saw something!
Yeah, you can hide the text.
Hold on. Are we still talking about this paper? Or is it about the urban legend again?
Both. I know it sounds ridiculous.
You're saying this is a primitive version of a chain letter, and now that we've seen it, we're now cursed. You've got to be kidding me.
See? This is why I didn't want to tell you guys.
Isabella, aren't you taking this a bit too far?
It's not a joke! Will you guys listen to me first? I saw something in the house earlier. It stood right in front of me. If I hadn't gotten away, that thing might have...
Right. And in broad daylight, Isabella. Typically, I don't believe in this stuff, but even someone gullible would find the logic in that screwed up.
There's also no way in hell that this supernatural shit you're talking about is true.
But it's real! What do you think I saw?
A hallucination? A delusion? Didn't you say you fell down some stairs? So maybe Rebecca's right.
It happened after, when I was trying to get away. I almost got stuck in the same room with that thing. We're all in danger. I thought you were my friends. Why don't you believe me?
We are, and you know that. But this thing and that thing has got nothing to do with the other. When Rose called earlier, I thought she's just exaggerating. But based on what I'm seeing right now, maybe it's better if we really postpone this for now.
Don't bother.
Without another word, I snatch the letter out of Ash's hand and stuff it back in my bag with more force than necessary. I'm tired. I got cursed, saw a ghost, probably lost a sale, and got kicked out of the open house I'm supposed to be hosting. My own friends won't believe me, and all of them think I'm crazy. To top it all off, there's a dull ache at the back of my head begging for a little attention I can't afford to give right now. Honestly, there's only so much a person can take within a single day. I just want to go home, curl up in my bed, and never think about today. But before I can take a single step away from the group...
Guys!
Zach rarely ever raises his voice, and even when there's a point he wants to drive home. And hearing him take on that tone completely throws me off. Even Ash and Becca. Whatever harsh words yet to come out from the argument immediately die on our tongues.
Why don't we all calm down first? I'm sure Isabella has her reasons too. No need to be hard on her. And hey, ain't this supposed to be a happy get-together? We haven't seen each other for months. I'd really love to know what y'all have been up to. I only ever get to talk to Bella over chat. Please.
He has a point. Ash, for all his attempts to look cool and distant, has also been looking forward to this. He even took the time to call this morning for a reminder. He never does that. Becca, too. I'm pretty sure there's another reason why she got out of bed today. Yet, despite Zach's attempts to lighten things up, or Ash's and Becca's acquiescent gestures, the tightness in my chest remains. I should have just kept it to myself, or at least went with the idea that it's a prank. If I did, things might not have turned out the way they did. No sour mood, no bad vibes. Careless. So careless. Maybe leaving is a better decision for all of us. Later, chumps. I know I'm being selfish, but if I stay, I'll only get in the way. I can't look Zach in the eye when my excuses come tumbling out of my mouth.
I'm sorry. Today's not a good day for a movie night out. I think I'll pass. Enjoy, you guys.
Isabella, wait!
I leave without another word, one step after another, as fast as my own 2 feet can take me away from them. Becca calls after me again. Zach and Ash do too, but the rest of it becomes lost in the hustle and bustle of the afternoon crowd. It's strange, to walk home like this, to bump shoulders with people you don't know. I felt the same way years ago, fresh off the boat in a foreign land, with no one else to depend on. I won't deny that I was nervous. Now? Well, it's not every day that you get into an argument with your longtime friends, not every day that they won't believe you even if you're telling the truth. It feels like a sort of betrayal, leaves something hollow in you. And in this faceless city, it's impossible not to feel alone after. The sun has already set by the time I reach the comfort of my own room. On my phone, there are 4 messages waiting to be read. 3 from Zach and a lone voicemail from Ash. Becca will probably drop by later to check on me and say the same thing these messages likely will. Yet, I can't bring myself to open or listen to any of them, much less look forward to anyone's visit. So, without taking another glance, I slide my phone back to my bag, flop down on my bed, allowing the heavy feeling in my chest to finally pull me into an uneasy sleep. So he gained ground with Rebecca for leaving? Perhaps tomorrow will be better. The darkness closes around me, grasping, pulling, engulfing me. The ground caves in and without warning I'm falling. My eyes snap open. For an instant, it doesn't immediately register where I am. Both my back and shoulders are aching from me having fallen asleep all hunched up the night before. Drenched in sweat, the nest of pillows I often keep around me feels more suffocating than comforting. I let my eyes adjust to the bright morning light streaming through my window and allow my breathing to slow down before untangling myself from the pile. I haven't had a single dream since coming to Luxborn, or at least none I can recall having. It's a shame because they used to be so vivid. Not the crazy vivid, but the more pleasant kind I'll tell my siblings about. Maybe it's just the stress of living alone. The knowledge that I'll always wake up in an empty apartment with no one to tell stories to.
What time is it?
Habit forces me to look over at the clock, even with the soreness weighing heavily on my shoulders and the compulsion to never leave my bed for the day. In a heartbeat, I'm up.
Oh man, of all the times to oversleep! Towel? Towel? Where's my towel?
Admittedly, it's a weekend, and it's an unspoken rule that entitles me to extra hours of sleep. But if Rose didn't kill me yesterday, she sure as hell will now. And right after what happened. Oh lord, 1 box of donuts as peace offering won't be enough the second time around. Grabbing my towel, I'm already a few steps away from the bathroom, when a muffled ringing breaks out from my bag. There's a moment of indecision at first. My mind remains conflicted on whether I should just ignore it or answer it. What if it's Rose? Or worse, our boss? Sheesh, in the end, the rational part of my brain wins out. The letter from yesterday peeks out when I pull the device out. Just the sight of it is enough to put me in a foul mood, and it takes every force of will for me to ignore it in favor of answering the call. The caller ID reads Mama.
Huh?
It's around 4:45 in the Philippines right now.
That's an unusual time for them to call.
Usually it's around noontime here, and I'm the one calling, not the other way around. Better for them to use that money on something else than an international call. Regardless, the most cheerful tone I can gather.
Hello?
Hello? Grace? How are you?
Mama! I'm doing okay. How are you guys over there?
We're good, we're good. EJ won a storytelling contest at school the other week. Brought home a medal. I thought you should know.
There's a tired lilt in her voice as she speaks. It's been there since Papa had to leave his job. I wish there's something I can do for her. But from miles away like this, the least I'm able to do is not make her worry. If only my older brother would actually lend her a hand, but Lord knows if that'll ever happen. Odds are, Kuya Jordan's already out drinking right now. Again. I can't count on my older sister either, knowing she has a family of her own, and, well... 8 Anne's financial situation isn't exactly great right now, having ran herself knee-deep in debt.
Great! That's great! Tell him congratulations from me. And let him know I'm gonna send him a little something extra this Christmas. How about Nico? Karen? Michael? I hope they're okay?
They're doing well. They wanted to talk to you, but they're all busy with school.
Oh no, that's fine. I don't want to bother them. Just tell them to keep doing their best for me. I'll just call back when I know they're not busy. And Papa? How's Papa doing?
It's a subject I'm a bit hesitant to broach, and from the way Mama's voice hitches, she also doesn't want to bring it up. Papa... Grace, Papa's... He's having a little difficulty right now. Weak appetite, he's having trouble swallowing, and lost a few pounds. But the doctor said we should keep encouraging him. It just means his body's accepting his new treatment well. The money you sent last time helped a lot to pay for it, by the way.
Oh, I see. That's good.
I won't deny that life has gotten tougher for our family. It used to be easy back when Papa was in good shape. But ever since he was diagnosed with the sickness 5 years ago, he had been unable to provide for us. Now the burden of feeding 8 mouths and settling Papa's bills all rests on my shoulders. Although Mama makes a little, excepting sewing and laundry jobs in our neighborhood, it's scarcely enough to cover the cost of day-to-day living, let alone the bloating hospital bills. We can't even expect help from our own government because the health insurance there barely covers anything.
I'm sure he'll get better soon. Is he well enough to talk? Do you think I'll be able to speak to him, Ma?
Silence. I think the call got cut until...
Listen, Grace. Maybe it's better if we transfer Papa to a different hospital. Somewhere cheaper?
What? Why? Did something happen? Is it the deposit issue again? Give me the hospital's number. I'll talk to them.
No, it's nothing bad. The service here is good. Too good. Even the doctors. But I'm worried you're working yourself to the ground because of it.
Mama, we've been through this before. I want the best for Papa. And don't worry about the bills or the medicine, or me for that matter. I can handle myself. Everything's going well here. In fact, we're about to close a large sale.
Hopefully. If not, then I'll find another way. She doesn't need to know that. Sorry, Mama. You tell me not to lie, yet look what I'm doing.
I'll have money to send over soon to cover the rest of Papa's treatment. And there's more than enough for Karen, Nico, Michael, and EJ's school tuition for the next semester, too.
Thank you so much, dear. I appreciate it. We all do. But I just wish you'd come home to us soon.
Kailan Kaui? I don't really know Filipino. And ironically, the people I know who would know it, I actually can't reach right now. Plus, that'd be a little awkward for a call out of the blue. When are you coming home? EJ, the youngest, used to be the sole person asking me that. How do you respond to a question you don't have a definite answer to? 5 years later, and I still can't give them a straight one. I smile though Mama can't see it. I fight to keep my lips from quivering, my voice from shaking. She's got enough on her plate as it is. No need to weigh her down with unnecessary concerns.
Promise me you'll be there to welcome me when I do, okay?
Of course. I'm sorry, Grace. I need to take this for a while.
There's a small commotion on the other side. Sound of gates opening, the voice of a child. EJ, talking excitedly about his day at school, the tapping of feet on the floorboards as he runs. It's been years since I went home, but I can still picture the whole scene in my mind. How tall is he now? Are the neighborhood kids bullying him now that I'm not around? Did Mama rearrange the furniture in the living room again? What are they having for dinner today? I miss them. I miss them so much.
It's okay, Ma. I need to go too. I've got work today. I'll call again soon, alright?
On a Saturday? Oh, never mind. Take care of yourself, dear. I love you.
I love you. Bye.
It ends with a soft click, leaving half-truths and empty promises hanging in the air. Closing my eyes for a moment, I take a deep breath and shake away from my head the thoughts that beginning to swim inside. It's pointless to mull over these things right now.
Okay, Isabella. Time to get that mansion sold.
Unfortunately, before I can take a single step away from my phone, it rings again. No doubt Mama forgot to say something.
Mama? Did you forget anything?
Excuse you? I'm too young to be your mom. Are you still sleeping? Hold on, never mind that. Get yourself in the office. Hurry!
Office? What about the open house? Oh no. Is it Sir John? Did he hear about yesterday? Am I in trouble? Oh god, oh god, oh god! I'm gonna get yelled at, aren't I? What do I do? I'll buy you an extra box of donuts if...
No, it's nothing like that. Will you calm down? Get yourself here, all right? I'll tell you everything then.
There's the telltale din of several feet shuffling against a wooden flooring and an indistinct yelling in the background before Rose cuts the connection. That isn't in any way comforting. But it's enough reason for me to hastily discard my phone to my bed and finish my shower in record time. I make it to the office within 20 minutes of leaving my apartment, completely disheveled and out of breath. A feat if I take into account my usual travel time. Routine clamor, common to Briar Realty Corporation's Luxborn office, greets me as soon as my foot crosses the threshold. Papers rustling, telephones ringing at sporadic intervals, agents talking at varying volumes, staff moving about, and...
Where the hell is C? Where are my employees? What the actual fuck, guys? Of all the times to disappear without notice!
My boss's words turn muffled as someone else closes the door to his office, likely the work of our HR manager. Throughout the past weeks, he's been in a bad mood over a few employees who've failed to report to work. I hear they're still trying to get a hold of them, but to no avail. The result is, half their workload has been shifted to all available staff so as to not lose clients. Not that I mind the extra work. If anything, it means I'll have more money to send to my family back home. Although the rumors of a branch closure circulating because of this is indeed a bit worrisome. My bag barely touches the top of the table and Rose pulls me aside.
Here, I need you to help me with these papers. If you could also get these signed and photocopied before lunch today, that would be great.
One after another, she thrusts a bunch of paperwork into my hand without explanation. A page flutters away from the top of the pile, and I lean down to pick it up, my eyes scanning the top of the page as I straighten. A purchase and sale agreement. Rose simply gestures her thumb towards our visitor lounge when I tilt my head in question. There, seated on the sofa and looking completely out of place in the humbly decorated room, is the same couple from the day before. The Wrights. Something bubbles up in my throat. Their presence in the office can only mean one thing.
They're buying it? We got a deal?
She swats at my hand, tugging her sleeve, although her eyes are alight with something akin to joy. She wants the sale to happen as much as I do, and now that it's here, the deal needs to be closed. Yet documents need to be signed still, but the elation is there. Along with a foreboding feeling, I can't quite pinpoint.
I had to do a little damage control, but they're already interested in acquiring the property, even before they attended the open house. I mean, isn't it obvious? They already hired an interior designer. I've never seen a buyer as aggressive as Madam Wright. She didn't even try to negotiate a lower rate.
One at a time, Rose. I can't process everything you're saying at once. What do you mean?
They're paying 15% higher than the listing price, as long as we get the paperwork done as soon as possible. I think if we allow it, they'll be paying up front, too.
Even with that urban legend?
Rose nods.
Oh, I was so sure we lost the sale after yesterday.
Don't look so surprised. We still have to conduct some last few checks before we completely hand it over to them.
Please. I'll happily do the paperwork duty, Rose. I'll even go to the land registry myself and make sure the property changes hands with every single legal blessing.
Don't they have better things to spend money on? I'd haggle it down to the lowest possible price if I were in their place, especially with the stories attached to it. Not that my opinion matters one bit here. We're just their agents who are going to receive the hefty commission after all, nothing more. Rose gives me a pat on the shoulder, signaling she's heading back to them, and an unspoken instruction for me to follow after I'm done. It doesn't take me long to finish what work she left me. In fact, having the boss sign the agreement is the easiest since it puts him in a better mood, much to the entire office's relief. Madam Hannah calls me over the moment she notices my presence at the lounge door. She welcomes me with a bright smile, her movements more open than what one will typically expect from a passing client to have.
Oh, Isabel! How are you feeling? You looked awfully dreadful yesterday.
Isabella, I'm fine now, ma'am. I appreciate your concern.
I really don't understand why they can't get my name right. It's a fairly common name. It shouldn't be too hard to remember. Regardless, I hand them their copy of the agreement.
Wonderful. Your team works unbelievably fast.
Madam Hannah skims through each of them with a scrutinizing eye, checking every page for any inconsistencies and errors. Despite the unassuming impression she gives off, she appears fully aware of what to look for in the process that goes into contracts like these. It is surprising, to be quite honest. I haven't pegged her for someone who is well versed in these things, yet here she is. She shows some of it to her husband, and he responds with the same passive interest as if he's more than happy to leave everything to her. I can't tell if it's purely because he believes she's capable enough, doesn't care about what they're buying, or simply finds such paperwork tedious. And the reality of the situation is he's a married man. He knows better than to argue. Apparently satisfied with what she's seen, Madam Hannah claps her hands together, before extending it to us for a shake. Rose and I release the breath we've been holding, both of us more than happy to return the gesture.
That settles it then? Are
you really sure about this property, ma'am? We could easily find you a bigger one among our current listings. Something with a modern touch?
Something not haunted, perhaps? Rose shoots me a warning glance that clearly says, don't make a scene, we're almost there.
Of course, why wouldn't I be? The house is absolutely perfect, isn't it, darling?
A helipad would still be a nice addition.
Yes, well, we'll get there eventually, love. As I was saying, if your partner had the documents yesterday, we would have bought it right there immediately. Shame she didn't have it.
Well, there's still a few necessary documents we need you to sign after, but we'll let you know once we have those finalized. We'll be handling the process for the rest, so don't worry about it, ma'am.
Within a week, I hope. We still have a housewarming party to plan after all. You know how much thought should be put into those things.
There are servants for that, darling.
Love, wouldn't it be better if we handled it ourselves? A personal touch of sorts. It is our housewarming party and our new home.
No more than a week, ma'am. Barring unexpected delay, of course. You can leave it to us.
Excellent. Well then, I'll leave you two to it. It's been a pleasure doing business with you. Oh, and before we forget...
She discreetly folds me into both our hands and winks, a finger raised to her lips demanding our silence.
I know both of you worked hard on getting us this beautiful mansion. Did I mention we reward our people generously?
But this is... Ma'am, I can't accept this.
Don't you worry, darling. It's a small thing coming from us. Consider this your bonus for a job well done.
She smiles sweetly like this is simply the most normal thing to do in the world.
Oh, before I forget, my lovely interior designer would appreciate it if you hand her a copy of the floor plan as soon as possible. She's dying to work on the house. You can do that, yes? Here's her contact.
Certainly, ma'am. We'll have it processed as soon as possible.
I knew I could count on you, lovelies. I hope to see you two soon so we can get this closed.
Just like that, transaction over and done with. My mind's still reeling even after they've left. Other agents will kill to have clients like them. A part of me feels lucky about the fact. No lengthy negotiations, no sudden change of minds, just talks, signatures, a few handshakes here and there, and we're done. The other part. A second ago, we sold a haunted property to 2 innocent clients. Sure, the commission is big. Big enough to continue funding Papa's treatment and hospitalization. Big enough to pay for all 4 of my younger siblings' schooling. Heck, it'll keep me away from instant noodle diets for months. I don't have to go back to the mansion as well once this deal has been closed, much to my sanity's relief. But knowing something's in there, and we gave it to the good couple despite that? Oh, Isabella, the things you can do to sell a house and get money. Papa won't be happy with that. At least I have good news to tell him next time I call home. The little lie I told Mama this morning isn't a lie anymore.
Well, there's something. So how does it feel?
How does what feel?
Your first big multi-million-pound sale, silly. I know you've been with us for years, but this has got to be memorable for you.
Memorable is an understatement, Rose.
Come on, show some enthusiasm. They gave us a bonus, too. Aside from the commission and the other bonus boss promised. What are you gonna do with it?
I don't know. Send it home, probably?
All of it?
Not everything, of course. Most of it. I'll leave some for my living expenses.
Listen here, Isabella. I'll teach you something I should have told you before we ended your training.
She slings an arm over my shoulders and leans in closer to my ear, as though she's about to share a big secret.
It's okay to celebrate from time to time.
I don't get it.
It's simple. Go out, do something for yourself. Throw a party and treat your friends to free food. Didn't you say the last one's some sort of tradition back at home for you? Hello, this is practically a done deal.
Isn't throwing a party a bit excessive?
Your call. I won't say no to an invitation, by the way, in case you really are planning to throw one. A few drinks would be nice too, thank you very much.
I don't think my apartment's big enough for that.
You could always move? Bloody hell, you're working in real estate.
I think I'll pass. That's too much of an unnecessary expense for me. But I did promise Becca free lunch in case the sale goes well.
You go do that. Hold on a sec.
She quickly removes herself from me to answer the phone on her desk. Her tone shifts from playful to professional in the span of a few seconds.
Today? Not a problem, ma'am. I could bring you a copy of the contract if...
Must be another client. Nothing surprising there. She's one of BRC's top agents regardless of how modest she appears. a saleswoman through and through. I, on the other hand, have very little knack for it. Of course, I learned, eventually. I had to. But someone else will, without a doubt, do a better job. Once, though, in a drunken stupor, Rose told me a story of what could have been. Years ago, wide-eyed and young and brimming with yet-to-be-fulfilled dreams and ambitions, she was a term or two away from a nursing degree. Out of courtesy, I never pressed on the matter further. But perhaps it is where the sense of fondness started. A small connection due to one similar experience in our respective lives, of goals we both let us pass by because of the circumstances we're in.
I'd be happy to discuss this over tea, ma'am. All right, I'll be there. Thank you.
New client?
Reassigned. Have you heard from Mark at all?
Not since the first visit to the mansion. Why? No news from the HR yet?
None at all. Boss thinks he ran away. I doubt it, though. He's too much of a wimp for that. There must be another reason. Who knows?
Loan sharks.
Anyway, I've got to meet this one. I'll see you later.
She throws a casual wave over her shoulder as she rushes out of the office. The lunchtime bell sounds shortly after, followed by the chatter of fellow agents also heading out for a much-needed break. Ordinarily, there's no need for me to go out. But oversleeping didn't allow me the luxury of packing my own lunch today. If one can consider taking an instant noodle cup from my pantry, packing your lunch. Time to make good on the promise I made to Becca, I suppose. Maybe invite Zach and Ash, too. In the end, only Becca and Zach could come. Ash, on the other hand, can't be reached. All my calls went straight to his voicemail. He's at it again. Right here today, gone the next day. Oh well, his loss. We've agreed to meet at a nearby cafe, the same one I usually frequent with Becca because it's cheap and they give away free bread around closing time. I'm never saying no to free stuff. Quaint, a little old-fashioned, though looks a wee bit out of place amidst the city's tall buildings, but we love it all the same. Much like the small building's facade, the interior carries an antiquated charm to it. Vintage art pieces and a row of shelves boasting an extensive collection of books cover the walls. Would have been nice to hang out here for hours on end, but even on a weekend the place is still packed with people. Thankfully, Becca and Zach have already found seats and is engaged in some casual chatter when I arrive. It's strange seeing the two of them without Ash accompanying the other. They've never been particularly close. Sure, they talk when they meet, laugh at the same thing when there's something funny, but there's distance. The kind born purely out of different interests. That, or Zach's simply afraid of Becca. It's not impossible, and I won't blame him if he is. He might be the tallest in our group, but everyone knows that means nothing against Becca's temper. Even I am a little scared of her.
Zach! Becca!
Well, you seem to be in a better mood today. What happened? I thought for sure you're going to snub us for the better part of the week.
You know I can't stay angry at you guys. I was upset. I still am, but... Well, something did happen this morning. Let's order food first, okay?
A waitress comes by to take our order. On a normal day, me and Becca will order a hearty serving of their special vegetarian stovies. Zach takes anything with a good helping of meat, sausages, or potatoes in it. But today's a good day. Great even. It's not wrong to indulge a little, right?
Today's special. For the three of us.
Even the person jotting our order down looks surprised at today's meal choice. She writes it, nevertheless, and leaves without a comment. Becca furrows her brows in consternation, her mouth halfway open, ready to let loose a string of reprimands.
Don't worry. It's my treat.
The glare Becca sends me reminds me of the one I got from Mama when I punched a kid bullying my younger brother 18 summers ago. Naturally, I never did it again after she made me apologize the next day. But Becca's far from being my mom. A small, sheepish grin is enough to dissolve that frown into a defeated sigh. Food arrives in the middle of a funny story from Zach, putting the rest of the conversation on hold as we each served our order. It isn't anything fancy. Pan-roasted sea bass with citrus-dressed asparagus and a portion of mashed potatoes on the side. Or at least that's what the daily specials board says. Never did pay any attention to it whenever I come here, since the price is whatever's written way above what I'm willing to spend on food on a single day.
Oh, good. I'm so hungry, I think I'm dying.
You're always hungry.
Hey! Not all the time.
Let me guess. You skipped breakfast again.
Not on purpose. I may have overslept by a few seconds today.
Right then. Stop stalling, Isabella. What's this about?
Let us say, Rebecca, She wouldn't be inviting us out if it wasn't worth hearing out.
Well, we're waiting.
I'm treating you guys to a once-in-a-century thing.
An expectant grin breaks out on my face, except...
I'm sorry, say that again.
And this is important because...
Becca only raises an eyebrow at me while Zach appears like he didn't get the punchline to another lame joke Ash made and is desperately searching for someone to explain it. Maybe I should rephrase it. No Ash.
Let me do that again. We should celebrate because Ash Hole is totally missing out on my first treat ever.
It went down even further. I don't remember what hers was at. By the way, at the end of the chapter, I will show the branching tree because you don't have to worry about the spoilers as much there. I took a look at it off camera in case you're wondering.
I'm sure Ash has his reasons.
He hasn't even apologized for calling me a scaredy cat yesterday.
A half-hearted complaint without any meaning to it, done more out of habit than any real malice or hatred to it. After all the times he's called me a scaredy cat, the word itself has completely lost its meaning. Imagine that. There's disappointment, of course, in knowing he's off who knows where while we're having fun here. Sheesh, don't disappear off the face of the planet without telling anyone.
You aren't really upset about that, are you?
No, not really. But it's his loss for missing this once-in-a-century event.
He did seem to be in a hurry when we parted last night after the movie. Said he got a big lead on his case.
We never had the chance to talk much yesterday.
Okay, I do not know about you guys, but I need to figure out how to disable this story thing, because it is getting annoying with how often it updates, and this is only the first freaking chapter.
But you know how he is about his work. Everything except his unholy love for bad puns is a secret.
He never mentioned those to me.
I ain't surprised. He's more tight-lipped with this one. Something about it being bigger than what they usually let him handle.
Don't worry, Becca. I'll make him talk.
It's not necessary. He'll talk when he wants. And if what Zach says is true, it's better if we keep our noses out of this. His job isn't exactly a walk in the park. We'll only get in the way if we pester him about it.
Well, he better treat us to something other than ice cream once he solves that one. That's Scrooge.
But that's not really why you asked us out, right?
She gestures at her food with her hand as though it's something she's not willing to touch until I give her answers.
I promised I'd treat you to a free lunch if the mansion got sold, yeah?
Understanding dawns on her face. The bewildered look she's been sporting changes into something close to delight.
You should have just told us. No need for all this fancy, secrety stuff.
It was supposed to be a surprise. I made a promise, didn't I?
I wasn't expecting you'd really do it.
Well, it's already here. If you don't want to eat it, I'll just...
I begin to gather their plates to my side, the food in each still untouched. A laugh almost escapes my mouth at the way Zach's expression quickly changes to disappointment. Becca's hand interrupts me just as I'm about to pull her plate closer to me.
No. Please, leave it, ma'am. We're simply humbled by your utmost generosity, considering you're as much of a Scrooge as Ashton.
Don't compare me to him. He's the one who looks like he's about to have an episode whenever he has to spend more than £5.
I honestly wish there's a way for you to see the look on your face when you haggle. Remind me to record it once.
And I don't remember the exact conversion rates offhand, but in case you're wondering about the £5, that converts to something like $6.50, I think. Somewhere around like $6.50 to $7. And then keep in mind that's with the... Well, the exchange rate I know is a few years old, so it might have changed since then, so that could be even more.
I think it's something like this.
She puffs her cheeks and furrows her brows in an imitation of how I supposedly appear. I don't look like that at all. Do I? She drops the act at the flat look I shoot her. Her laughter dies, but the playful gleam in her eyes remains.
To be serious, though, this means you're gonna be okay now, yeah?
For a while. It just means we won't have to worry about paying for the treatment and the bills. But that's all that matters, right? I mean, we're not yet sure if the new medication will produce better results, but Mama and the doctor said Papa's responding well to the treatment. That's one reason to be hopeful. And with the money, I'm sure it's just a matter of time.
Saying it this way sounds as if I'm trying to convince myself. But no matter what, I allow myself to fully smile, genuine and uninhibited. It's strange having to talk about this with other people, even those who you've known for... Okay, the hiccups are getting a little bad. It's strange having to talk about this with other people, even those who have known you long enough. But today, things simply feel a whole lot lighter with them here. Lunch passes in an enjoyable fashion. A laughter here, a playful jab there, most of it is spent on catching up to others, new projects, whatever keeps us busy these days. Something we couldn't afford to do the day before, taking into account what happened. Even Becca's surprisingly chatty. Is there something in the sea bass we ate? Zach, though, appears less energetic today. While he's far from being the life of the party, he's definitely not the type to keep quiet in a conversation with his friends. Apart from a few inputs, he's been silent the entire time. If Becca notices...
Are you sure you're not feeling under the weather, Zachary?
Huh? No, I'm okay. No worries, Rebecca.
Doesn't sound okay to me.
It's okay. I might be feeling a little bummed out today, but I'm sure this will pass.
Is it about the reviews this morning?
A pained expression crosses Zach's face, and almost immediately Becca retreats in her inquiry as though the man's look is enough of an answer for her. I look between the two of them. Did I miss something? What happened this morning? Did I stumble on a big secret? This is why I don't like waking up late.
You heard about those, huh?
Sorry, I just happened to check on some sites this morning.
Nah, it's a very sensitive topic in the first place. I should have expected it.
What reviews?
Becca glances at Zach, her emotions unsure, eyes asking for his consent on the matter. Although there's a small desire to keep asking on my part, I don't dare voice it out. With Zach, it has always been better to wait, to let him speak on his own. Becca too, to some extent, although with her explosions of temper are more common. In the end, he simply answers with a momentary shift of his shoulders, gesturing for her to go on with a tilt of his head.
It's his movie.
That doesn't explain anything. Stop dangling the information, Becca!
Zachary, I'm not the one supposed to be telling her about this. At the end of the day, it's still your documentary.
Is it something bad?
Not bad per se. You guys don't need to dwell on it much.
Bad? Listen here. I wouldn't trivialize what those bowheads wrote if I were you. They're ruining other people's jobs.
From how her tone rises in anger, it seems like she's the one slighted and not Zach. A snicker escapes me, which I promptly stamp down as soon as she sends me a hard look.
This isn't a laughing matter, Isabella. Some bowbag just insulted him.
Calm down, Rebecca. Those are just reviews, and it happens a lot.
I dinna ken about you two, but calling the entire film an out-and-out drivel, you're better off watching an educational kids' TV show, and worst 1.5 hour of my life, among other things, isn't exactly a critique any decent movie reviewer would say. If you could call that a critique, did we even watch the same film?
Well, maybe I ain't cut out for it. Better stick with my photography or something. If nothing else, this helped me open my eyes to what I can and can't do.
You're giving up.
It wasn't a question.
It was just something experimental I did on my free time anyway. It's no big deal.
But you worked on it for months.
Doesn't look like it matters for those people.
Don't say that!
My palm strikes the table, sending the tableware on top clinking against each other. I haven't even noticed when I've risen from my seat. But here I am, chest heaving, looking down at him in the same manner a teacher will at an unruly student. Becca's probably proud. I don't mean to yell, but there are some things people like Zach aren't supposed to say. How exasperating. He, of all people, should know.
If you give up now, how do you know you won't make a name for yourself creating films in the future? It's just a review.
Except they're pretty well-known critics.
Why does that matter? They aren't the ones calling the shots on this. Isn't that why they have a committee? Right, Becca?
An amused gleam in her eyes is in her eyes when I turn to her. What does she find so entertaining in this situation? Help me here, your friend's about to quit his passion for a petty reason. I have not read what those people who wrote against his work, but a few scathing words shouldn't be enough to discourage someone. I should know. After all, I'm...
Failing means you're playing, Zach. Not that I'm saying it's bad. I've seen it from start to finish, and I know for myself what you created isn't something people should scoff at. I don't know anything about filming or photography. Hell, I don't have an inkling of artistry in me except for those doodles I make for class. But I know what I watched. Look at Isabella. It's not every day you see her all riled up like this.
Whatever I'm about to say gets lost in my tongue as a flush of embarrassment blooms across my face.
It was a heat of the moment thing. And anyway, I'll be very angry with you if you quit. What about the exhibit?
What exhibit?
Classified information.
Even if I bring you your favorite tonight?
Nope, not a chance.
Oh, come on! I thought we aren't supposed to have secrets.
A burst of laughter comes from Zach.
Thanks, you two. I might need some time alone to myself for a while. Just to think about things, how I'll go from here, that sort of stuff. Hey, I'm not quitting, Bella. Don't give me that face.
There's no face at all, only a poor imitation of a puppy dog's eyes, if you can call it that one.
Promise?
I'll be damned if I break any promise I make to you guys. Besides, you're right. It's too early to say anything right now. What's night ain't for another week?
And that's all the answer I need from him. As sentimental as it sounds, there's fulfillment in knowing another person you know won't take the same path you've walked. It's not like it's over for me, though. I've still got time. I can still come back. Do my own thing. Do what I really want to do. Surely, once Papa recovers, once I'm done with everything. Inside my bag, my phone buzzes unexpectedly, breaking the pleasant afternoon lull. The screen shows Rose.
Hey, Isabel. You at the office?
Ha ha. Very funny, Rose. I'm hanging up.
Don't, I'm kidding. BRC says the floor plan copies are ready for Miss McCullough to pick up.
She states that as if it already explains everything. Then, out of the blue, she launches a long rant about the awful state of Luxborn's streets, betraying her cheerful greeting. All of which she says in a single breath that I can barely keep up and make out a single word. I stay quiet if only to avoid becoming the next subject of her frustration. She's similar to Becca in that regard.
I'm stuck in horrendous traffic right now. Bloody stupid drivers.
When she has finally run out of things to complain about and stops, what she says next still has none of what I'm hoping to hear from her. Just a quick mumbled plea for me to meet the Wrights interior designer in her stead, and...
Anyway, I'll leave it to you. Bye. Thanks.
Classic Rose. She ends the call without even asking for my input. The sky is cloudless and the noontime sun is beating down on the hard concrete when we depart from the cafe. It's far from unbearable, but it's enough to put most people in a fickle mood or make them vulnerable to catching something. No wonder we have staff members going AWOL lately, not to mention my boss's mercurial moods. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I want our usual cloudy weather back. For all the gripes about the unpredictable weather, though, the streets of Luxborn remain constantly busy. The hurried tapping of shoes against the pavement and inane chatter coming from the lunchtime crowds fills the humid afternoon air. A small reminder of the things we've yet to do, regardless of how much I want to return to the comfort of my bed. Back to Briar Realty for me. Zach to a meeting with a magazine publisher featuring luxury houses, and Becca to her lesson plans and books at home. But more than once, I catch her sneaking a longing glance over at something displayed on a shop window. Did she want to buy something? Maybe I can get it for her this Christmas. I turn my head at the last shop she checked out. A fleeting glimpse. The world stills. She looks at me, eyes hollow, gaze piercing, boring into my very soul, like a set of chains to keep my whole body still. There are no shadows or whispers this time, only a plea, a hum low and indistinct, compelling me, beckoning me, intent on dragging me to the void beyond the glass. I don't dare move. My heart hammers against my ribs, each beat, every thump screamed at me to look away and make a run for it. But I can't. I couldn't. All of my limbs feel heavy, while my own breathing strains in the face of her calls.
Leave me alone.
Her mouth is stretched in a grin, wide and unpleasant. The panic building up in my chest forces me to take a tentative step back. I try not to stare at the decaying flesh, the blood streaming from the gaping wounds on her arm or her nailless fingers. I don't want this. Not like this. Not after I got what I want for Papa.
Oh no, stop. Leave me alone.
Her face contours into something twisted, and she lets out a wail, sharp and utterly unforgiving. Rage. There's only hatred and bitterness, as if the very notion of turning away from her is an offense in itself.
Please! I don't want this!
Before I know it, I'm stumbling backwards, my own throat hoarse from screams I don't even notice already coming out of my own mouth. The back of my feet catches on a loose stone, sending me sprawling on the ground. The resulting pain completely jolts me out of the haze, blurring my mind. For a little while, my surroundings appear unfamiliar until Becca's face swims into my vision. A look of concern is on her face, and her hands are gripping my arms tight. Even Zach appears to be beside himself with worry while he stands beside her, acting as a shield against the small crowd of onlookers already forming around us.
What happened?
Bella, you okay?
My mouth opens and closes, but nothing comes out. The words refuse to form. On impulse, I sneak a swift glance at the display window. She's gone. Yet the foreboding feeling hasn't left me. My hands are shaking as I push myself off the ground, weakened limbs relying solely on reflex and muscle memory. Something icy has made its home at the pit of my stomach. I want to throw up anything to get the wretched sensation out of my gut.
You were screaming, having a fit. Zach, call someone.
No, don't. I'm good. I'm good. I need to get to the office. Rose, the floor plans. Someone's going to pick it up. I'll see you later.
Careful. Don't stand up yet. Stay put, Isabella. Zach, you watch over her for me. I'll call for someone.
I attempt to smile to put her at ease, but it likely comes off as a grimace. Gently, I pushed her hands off my shoulders. My knees are still trembling, but I can stand. Leave. Leave me. Stay away, far from here. Away. The humidity is stifling, everyone's stares are unnerving, and Becca and Zach's concerns are suffocating. I want to be away from here. I break into a run. I wish I hadn't left my bed this morning. It's easy to fall into a cycle of negative thinking with only the occasional drips of water on the sink and the whirring of fan blades to keep me company. The room is devoid of any other light source apart from the one streaming from the hallway and the windows. Even with the clutter I've accumulated over the years, the room feels a whole lot bigger than it commonly is. I hug my knees closer as a group passes by outside. Loud. So loud. If only there's a way to tune everything out, to keep my head from replaying every image, every sound of her. Her screams, her awkward gait as she reaches for me, her bone-chilling smile, her pleas for... enough. That's enough. A shiver passes over me, though it's not from the hair still hanging damp against my back, nor the draft that enters the room from the windows I've left wide open. My gaze shifts over the letter sitting on the coffee table. Its edges flutter innocuously as the wind touches it. Funny how an ordinary-looking piece of paper can bring this much trouble. The impulse to throw it away or rip it up to pieces is still there. I can easily do that, but after that, what? Will she leave me? What about those people who've already seen it? Will they be okay? This uncertainty gnaws at me. Knowing she's real and might also go after the people I care about. I just wish someone would listen. Believe me. The abrupt break in the silence nearly makes me jump out of my skin. Frowning, I take a quick look at the clock beside my bedside table. It's late. No one usually visits me around this hour, except maybe for...
Isabella? Are you in there?
Her tone is tentative, unsure, testing whether I'll respond or not. Any other day, she'll just enter the room after one knock. Today I think she's trying to be considerate. She knows I'm in here, and can easily go inside since I've given her a copy of my key years ago, purely on her assistance the first time she saw the state of my room. In her own words, like a hurricane had passed through the place. Ever since, she'll drop by from time to time, either to share whatever she dished up or help clean. She knocks again, louder this time, albeit the kind with less urgency. I take that as my cue to answer the door.
Hey. Hey there. Mind if I come in?
She holds out a paper bag to me. From inside, a savory aroma wafts into the air, making my stomach rumble rather loudly. Becca shoots me a knowing smile before she walks into my apartment like she owns the place.
I knew you missed dinner. I picked this up on my way home from the library. Thought you'd like one too. And why is it so dark in here? Were you sleeping when I knocked?
I moved to turn on the lights myself before she stretches out her hand for the switch.
Not really. I was just thinking.
About? Did you rearrange things again? Where are the plates?
Stuff. The cupboard to your right, top shelf.
Only the clinking of silverware can be heard as a hush fills the room, both familiar and awkward. I can easily answer her previous question to cover for the lack of talk, but from her hurried movements and hesitant tones, I know she'll bring it up sooner. The food is just a ruse to get me to open my mouth. I'm unsure if I should be happy or mad that I have someone like Becca who knows me so well. Minutes later, she's pushing a plate into my hands and settles on the sofa opposite my seat at the edge of the bed. She sticks a fork in her own dish, yet does not go beyond shoving the meat and peas around her plate. She'll have scolded me by now if I do the same in front of her. Shrugging, I look down at my own food and...
It's pork? Are you sure you want to eat this?
Don't look at me like I'm feeding you poisonous stuff.
I know, but pork? You hate pork.
I don't hate it. I just don't like eating it on a regular basis. I can always burn it off with a few hours of jogging.
Must be some really fatty pork or deep fried or something.
Why are you being picky about this? You're the one who doesn't even gain weight no matter how much or whatever you eat.
I was just asking. You threw a fit when I used pork in your stovies that one time.
It wasn't a good day to eat that? And what about you? You don't seem to be having a good day either. This afternoon?
She opens the subject with the same finesse a bulldozer has. I might have laughed if we were talking about something else. I'm almost impressed. She used to complain about my own tendency to do that. In the end, Becca simply gives up any pretense of eating and sets her own plate on the side table. She leans forward on her seat, her expression serious and her hands clasped together in her lap. It reminds me of that one time I got sent to the principal's office. I can neither recall when or why. The memory is vague now, considering the years since. But I remember squirming on my seat a lot, the agonizing wait, and the intense want to leave the room.
Isabella, what happened?
I spear a piece of meat and popped it into my mouth. It's good, but the taste doesn't really register against the multitude of thoughts swimming in my head. A shame. Becca, sharp as ever, is quick to pick up on this and pushes through with her questions, forgoing her place in the couch to sit beside me. Not that the concern is unwelcome, quite the opposite actually. Except the apprehension that we'll fall into the same cyclical argument is there.
About yesterday, during Zach's movie, things didn't end well, and I guess... No, let me rephrase that. I just want to say I'm sorry. We're sorry. We were pretty harsh.
Though I'm still upset about it, Becca seems sincere with her apology. What's the point?
Don't bother.
So we're slowly whittling her away, but for some reason we're on really good terms with Marianne.
Are you going to tell me about it?
Does it matter?
It does. I think so, yeah? How do you expect people to listen to you if you keep avoiding questions?
I wasn't. I'm not asking you to listen to me right now, am I?
Now you're just being a child.
I'm 26. You're the one who came here to bring me food I didn't ask for. You're not even eating it yourself. And it doesn't even taste that good. It's too spicy. I bet you don't even like it. And...
My heart's pounding hard against my ribs, my breathing erratic. The sheets of my bed creases under my tight grip. I didn't mean to yell, especially at her. It just came out. Yet it feels oddly satisfying to do so. Becca's smiling knowingly at me when I look at her. Only then does it register what she's trying to do.
Are you done?
You're an awful friend.
She laughs, softly yet unrestrained. It isn't mocking, but one that brings a sense of familiarity in it. And does the job of lightening up the mood.
Feeling better?
Not entirely, but thanks. I'm being petty, aren't I?
We both are. Figures why we're friends, right? So, are you going to tell me about it?
What's the point?
Isabella, the point is...
Yesterday,
I spoke about it yesterday, didn't I? But nobody believed me. I kept repeating and repeating and repeating myself, but none of you took my word for it.
Because none of it sounds realistic.
Yet you're here asking about it. What do you really want?
Because I need to know where you're coming from.
We fall silent, both of us coming to the same realization that we're going nowhere if we keep shouting at each other like this. With a sigh, Becca reaches for the letter on the table. She inspects it in the same manner one does with something fragile, holding it with all the care in the world. Her stare lingers on the message printed on it. Something pensive sits in her face as she reads the lines over and over again. I want to stop her, take the paper away from her hands, hide it. But it's too late now, isn't it? Yesterday's and today's argument was my own doing. That more than not being believed, I'm running away from the guilt. From the idea that I put my own friends in danger. That I'm afraid to do anything about it. I'm using my own anger to hide my own fears about myself. I'm a coward.
Tell me. Everything. Don't leave anything out, you hear me?
I hesitate. Becca's far from a person who'd believe in such things, yet...
You really want to hear it?
She nods. I tell her everything, from when I arrived at the mansion, my search for Rose, and what I saw. True to her words, she listens. Not in the same way a person engrossed hangs onto a storyteller's every word as if it's the only truth in the world. But in a way a person who has simply offered an ear to someone who needs it does. No personal opinions, no long arguments whether it's the truth or not, just her plain and simple undivided attention. And it's pleasant to be heard, that is.
Is it the same? This afternoon? When you... I've never heard you scream like that.
She was there.
She? Who is she? I'm missing a lot of things here, Belle.
Her! The ghost! She's just there, standing, calling for me.
On the streets? I don't...
On the window! Becca, it's her face when she looks at me. It's here, stuck in my head. I can't shake it off. There are voices, shadows asking for help. I don't know how. I don't know what she wants from me. Lord, I don't even know how to help myself right now.
My hands begin to shake. Balling them into fists is all I can do to keep them from moving. She may not be here, I may not be seeing her misshapen face smiling at me, but the dread she's left remains. With the presence of another living person here, I don't want to be by myself with these haunting images and these vivid memories again.
I'm sorry. I didn't know this has been bothering you like this.
Why are you apologizing?
Look at you. This isn't the Isabella I know. Any other day you'd bounce back. You got what you wanted today. Your dad's gonna be okay. And yet here you are. Zach can tell. I'm sure Ash can as well. I'm probably the only one thinking of selfish reasons the day before.
Where exactly is this coming from, Becca?
I don't think she means to say that one out loud, judging by how quick her head snaps up at my question.
Certain things. It's nothing. Don't get worked up about it. Anyhow, I should go. Try not to think about it, all right? You need your rest, and I've got papers to check and lesson plans to review for this week's class. I'll be next door if you need me.
My hands move automatically to grab the back of her shirt before she can take a single step away. I have no idea what came over me. Her apartment's next door. I can easily bother her if I need something. She said so herself. However, my trembling hands refuse to budge. I don't want to be alone.
Do you want me to stay?
Can you? Just until I fall asleep?
What are you, 5?
Please. I really, absolutely don't want to be left alone right now. I tried to sleep earlier. Last night, too. I thought a shower would help today, but it's still in my head.
What am I going to do with you?
This isn't really a choice, is it? I smile.
You are such a big baby.
And that was a massive leap forward.
Move over. I know how we'll fix this.
She motions for me to scoot, and I do so, though not without a scoff. Typical Becca, teacher through and through regardless of where she is. Then, without notice, she pulls my head to her lap. I freeze.
What are you doing?
Singing you to sleep like the big baby you are. I may not be as good a singer as you are, but I can handle a few tunes.
Stop treating me like a kid. This is completely unnecessary.
I make an attempt to straighten up, but Becca's persistent. Gently, she pushes my head back down.
I'm kidding. Didn't you say this is how your mom used to lull you to sleep? I just thought you could use something familiar to you.
You're not my mom.
It may sound like a complaint, but we both know the statement has no ill will attached to it.
How are they back home? You said they called?
Good. From what Mama told me, EJ won a medal.
Who's EJ again?
The youngest. A bit chubby on the cheeks. I showed you a picture of him once. You said he looks a little like me, especially around the eyes.
She's quiet as I talk, interrupting only to ask a question if there's something she doesn't understand. I tell her of my 4 younger siblings, little troublemakers, all of them. And of my no-good elder brother who almost landed himself in jail a month ago, of my sister who had to move away recently to run from her ever-increasing debts. It's the same old story she has heard countless times before. Yet every time she asks, every time it's brought up, she listens tirelessly. Becca may not believe me about the ghost. She may have just been listening to help keep my fears at bay. But for now, I am content. Sleep comes easier tonight, and for the first time in a long time, I dream. Of clear skies, of unrestrained laughter from children playing in the streets, and of small, cramped dwellings. To an outsider, the sight does not paint a pretty picture. However, this to me is home. Morning dawns bright and clear the following day. Although the air still feels muggy and I miss the chilly autumn weather, it's one of those rare weekends when I allow myself to sleep in for the sake of sleeping in. The clock is flashing 9 a.m. when I open my eyes. Becca's already gone, likely to the library. She has a habit of keeping herself busy even on a weekend. She did leave a note on my fridge, reminding me to eat along with a plate of breakfast on the counter. Really. She gets angry when I call her mom, but then goes and does things like this. I flop back lazily in my bed. From my window I can hear the world beginning to stir. Oops. I should too. There are still papers to organize, documents to sign and hand over tomorrow. Yet just staring at a gloomy white ceiling like this, waking up alone, it's easy to be filled with the irrational need to go back to bed and sleep. I've got calls to make, people to check on, and a good news to deliver. Blindly, I fumble for my phone on the nightstand and dial the number I've been itching to call since yesterday. It rings for a good while. I can already imagine Mama's startled face. She's probably cooking something for dinner right now. Knowing her, she'll turn off the stove first, like she'll always remind me, wash her hands and wipe them thoroughly in her apron before picking up the phone. Small, striking habits I didn't know I'll miss until I've stopped seeing them.
Hello? Santos residence?
Mama, how are you?
The usual pleasantries, questions about how they're doing, how life's going on back home, bits and pieces, although small, helps form a vague picture of things I missed in my mind. EJ's excited voice resounds from the other end, and I smile to myself.
What about you? Are you eating well?
You asked that a few days ago, but yeah. And, Mama, I've got something to tell you.
Oh no, you're not pregnant, are you?
What? No! Mama, stop making jokes like that.
This is a serious question, Grace. I've been looking at your face note. Who is this Ashton? Are you pregnant?
Who? Ash? No. Oh, good heavens. It isn't like that. We aren't like that. No one's pregnant, Mama.
Well then stop stalling. You're making me nervous, Grace.
So like Mama to jump to conclusions like that. And against my better judgment I laugh. Light and surprisingly easier now that the heavy weight is lifted. Mama's clicking her tongue on the other end, impatient by the delay. I want to hug her.
Remember the house? We got a buyer yesterday. I'll be able to send a remittance soon.
Even with hundreds of miles separating us right now, the relief, her relief, is palpable. The tired lilt in her voice is still there, but it's fading. Perhaps not now, but maybe in the near future. When Papa's well and distance is not a problem.
The buyer gave us a bonus, too. I can send that early while we're waiting to finalize things, because that might take a few days. And then there's...
Grace, stop!
Yes, Mama?
It's okay. Keep it to yourself. You don't have to send everything.
Don't worry. I've got enough here. You taught me how to budget properly, didn't you?
Don't you want to buy something for yourself? Or for your friend? Rebecca, was it? Something to thank her for watching over you since you arrived there.
Rebecca will complain, Mama.
Then tell her it's from me, as thanks for taking care of my stubborn daughter.
You both sound so alike. But I will. Thanks, Mama.
The call goes longer than usual, and when we hang up after our goodbyes and I love yous have been said, the day appears brighter in my eyes. There are no half-truths and empty promises this time. Light streams through my open windows, and the world is fully awake, and the last vestiges of sleep has faded from my eyes. Maybe a walk is good. I need to stock up my pantry, too. Come to think of it, isn't there an art store that has opened recently near the park? The cat's name is Beruthiel. Or at least that's what his collar says. It's not a name to give a cat, in my opinion. But it speaks grace much like the one that carries it. It shows in the way he swishes his tail and his eyes follow my hand's every movement. I'm not sure what he finds fascinating in me, to be honest. I'm not the very picture of grace when he found me, after all. It was a bad idea, carrying 2 heavy bags of newly bought art materials and groceries without help or a sure ride home. In hindsight, perhaps I shouldn't have bought all these at the same time. I didn't even make it past the park to the nearest bus stop. And now I'm suffering underneath the glaring afternoon sun, hunched up on a park bench and drenched in sweat, in the company of a cat curiously watching my every movement. I hope it stays where it is. It's just a black cat, but back at home, they're considered ill omens.
Don't look at me like that. I can act graceful as well if I want to.
Not that I've ever acted graceful in my life, of course. Growing up with rowdy younger brothers and a sister does that. Or maybe it's the opposite. Mama used to call me a troublemaker before. Well, graceful or not, there's no use moping. A short breather and then I'm off home. Besides, it isn't like the company is bad, even if it's a cat, as long as it doesn't bite or crosses my path.
Well, where's your owner, anyway?
He has one, doesn't he? An owner? That's what the collar is for, isn't it? A bandage is wrapped on one of its paw, though. I wonder what happened to it. Did he run away?
Well, if you don't have one, I won't be able to take you in. My apartment doesn't allow pets. I tried to bring one home before, a cat. Not black, of course. And Rebecca threw a fit before the landlady could.
I take a small packet of sweets from one of the bags lying beside me and pop it open. As I'm about to put one in my mouth, he meows. My hand stops.
Do you want one?
He doesn't meow again as I'm expecting him to, but I take his unblinking gaze as a yes. I shift the piece in my palm and hold it out to him warily. He sniffs at it once, twice, before...
Baruthia!
Like a good, properly trained pet, Beruthiel responds as soon as he's called. Recognition comes as soon as my head snaps up in a different direction for the voice. Miss McCulloch's hardly impossible to miss, what with her height. But most especially is the way she carries herself.
I'm sorry. Did my cat hurt you? Miss Santos, was it? I'm surprised to see you here.
Nice to meet you again, Miss McCulloch.
Never mind the pleasantries. Were you harmed in any way? I'm sorry. Beruthiel's not exactly fond of other people. Even run away from the veterinarian right now.
Oh no, he was just sniffing my hand earlier.
My Beruthiel's a she.
She? All this time, I thought. The pause in conversation, if this can be called one, is uncomfortable. We're merely 2 people working different jobs for the same client. Frankly, meetings like this don't happen a lot, and if it does, a simple nodding of heads is enough. Still, trying to be friendly won't hurt, right? Let's see if we can dig deeper by talking about the cat. I don't know if this even changed. I keep my tone cordial and warm.
I'm actually surprised you have a cat, Miss McCulloch.
And why exactly is that? There are a lot of people who have their own pets.
Yeah, but not a black one. I'm amazed you're taking care of one.
I don't understand what you're trying to get at. Is there a problem with my cat?
No, not at all. She's very sweet. Just in other cultures, aren't they a sign of bad luck?
Back at home it is. My grandmother used to tell several stories about it, and...
Nothing has happened to me so far.
Look who you work for. Displeasure is evident on her face. Of course, I've forgotten that for other people, black cats are an omen of good luck. There you go again, running your mouth off, Isabella. I rack my brain for a way to remedy the situation, but she holds out a hand.
This is a good place to stop and end this conversation, don't you think so? It is good to see you again, Miss Santos.
A complete dismissal if I've ever heard one. I watch her as she leaves, though she stops shortly before crossing the threshold separating the park and the street. She faces me again, looking like there's something she's forgotten to say.
By the way, about the Ermengarde mansion, with my clients, it's the Wrights. I mean, I hope you don't mind me asking, but has the deal been finalized?
There's still a few papers they need, but the house is more or less theirs now.
Ah, thank you. That's all I needed to know.
Wait, about the mansion, the
letter, the same one they saw. Whoever she is, she's asking for help. Someone. I want to tell Miss McCullough that the urban legends aren't just legends anymore. They're real. She's not going to believe me.
Don't mind me. I need to go too. Have a good day, Miss McCullough.
I hastened to pick up all the bags I left on the bench and ran as far as my legs could take me. In that moment, what I'm carrying in my hands weighs far lighter than the overwhelming guilt trying to consume me. Home. I want to be home. Anywhere where I won't be reminded of the house. Of her. Of my own cowardice. The food tastes less appetizing tonight. A pity. One will think that someone who has been on a continuous binge of instant noodles will find a home-cooked meal like this enjoyable. But it isn't. Hunger isn't what's gnawing at me tonight, neither are my sore muscles. The TV runs loudly in the background, but what it says barely registers in my brain. It's hard when the thing you're trying to forget keeps returning to the forefront of your mind. It distracts you, eats at you, devours you. I wish this would stop. I wish I wasn't the one who picked it up. I wish it was somebody else.
In other local news, a woman was found dead in her home yesterday evening. Luxbourne police officials are currently investigating the crime scene, but has classified the case as homicide.
Huh?
The victim, identified as Rose Pamela Cooper, 33 years old, working as a real estate agent.
Rose?
Discovered lying in a pool of blood in her two-bedroom flat with the words "Help me" repeatedly written on the walls.
Yeah, we really need to hurry up and get those papers signed. No. No. This isn't what I want. This isn't supposed to happen. None of this is supposed to happen. No one's supposed to die. Those are just stories, right? Legends. That's what everyone kept telling me, so what? And Immediately, I rushed to my study table and searched my phone. My hand, cold from jet, clings tightly to it as soon as I touch its edges. A piece of folded paper, the letter, lying unassumingly beside it, slips to the floor when I pick the device up. But I pay it no mind. There are more important things. Right now, I need to call her. I need to call her. I was with her yesterday. I was just with her yesterday and she was okay. No, it isn't Rose, I'm sure of it. I just talked to her yesterday and... A sob escapes me and hot tears begin to blur my vision. One after another they trickle down, weighted by the very same guilt I refused to admit I've been carrying from the start. The same one I've been hiding from. The same one that has put people I care about in danger. My hands shake as I navigate to Rose's number on my contacts list. She'll answer, right? That's what she always does. She'll pick it up, tell me to turn down the waterworks, and call me a wuss afterwards.
She'll answer. Please answer, Rose.
Again and again I dial. Whispering. Praying. Pleading.
Come on, Rose. Don't do this to me. Please pick up. I know you're there, Rose. You're not dead. Please tell me you're not.
This adds to the series of deaths and disappearances that has plagued Luxbourne in the recent years. The authorities are currently looking at a possible link with the notorious Anselm Butcher case.
The TV runs loudly in the background. A deafening static sounds from my phone's speakers. But in my ears I can only hear the screams. Her pleas. Her whispers. We are not safe. A buzzing sensation jolts me awake. My body wants to sleep still, to forget what I heard, what I saw last night. But it's there, nudging, prodding at me. Slowly I become aware of how awkward my position is, and the aches that accompany sleeping in a curled-up position the night before. If I even slept at all. The memories are impossible to forget now that Rose is gone. They say it's easier when you say it out loud. Instead, the words weigh heavier on me each time. She's gone. Gone because of me. Gone because of one letter I was too curious to look at. I should have been more careful. I should have just kept my mouth shut. I should have destroyed it before anyone else has gotten involved. I should have... The notification light on my laptop blinks incessantly, mockingly, when I look at it, as if it's calling me back to a sense of normalcy. I check it out, nevertheless, out of habit more than anything. So, let's read it. Subject, strict attendance required today, from Joanne Schulz. Briar Realty Corp. To all BRC employees, in line of recent events, there will be an all-staff meeting from 1 to 2 p.m. Attendance is a must. Company changes, new hierarchy, and policies all will be discussed during the meeting. Everyone is expected to bring a copy of their own attendance logs and sales reports for the last 6 months to be submitted to your respective managers for review. We are expecting everyone's cooperation. If this were one of those typical days, I'd happily comply and get myself to our office. Today, my limbs just feel heavy. On one hand, going will keep me busy and take my mind elsewhere. On the other, the place in itself is a stark reminder of what my own fears have cost me. Maybe I'll just... So I think this is this next game over. My hand automatically moves to press the delete button. What's the use? I won't be able to work anyway. Not with this weighing down on me. Not with the images flashing in my mind. Now with these voices calling for me. Over and over and over. I flop back down on my bed and discard the phone on the nest of pillows beside me. The TV is still running, I notice vaguely, having been left open the night before, though I have no desire nor interest to hear it now. Rose is dead, and it's all my fault. Shoving a pillow over my head, I make an attempt to drift to sleep again. Anything, just so I don't feel the heavy feeling in my chest. How do I push decline? A cheerful voice with a tinge of hesitance greets me when I answer the sudden call.
Hey there! How are you feeling?
Good morning, Becca.
I just want to check on you. I heard the news. How are you doing?
It's as if her question has opened a dam of emotions I've been keeping at bay.
Becca. Rose, she...
Shh. It's okay. I know. I'm sorry. I know how much she means to you.
No, you don't understand! This is what I've been telling you guys!
What you've been telling... All right. Tell you what. Why don't we eat dinner together today? I heard the diner near your office is serving your favorite today. My treat?
Decline?
No, I'm not at the office! Ugh, never mind, we're not safe! Not anywhere!
What are you talking about? And don't shout! I was just inviting you to help take your mind off things!
The letter!
This again? Ghosts aren't real, Isabella. They're just stories made up to scare children.
You're always saying that, but look what happened to Rose! I know what I saw!
The police says it's a homicide case.
Didn't you see what's in her room? That's not something another human being would do! Come on, Rebecca! You have to believe me this time!
Isabella, I know you're in shock, but you have to wait for the authorities' findings. You can't just make assumptions based on some stupid letter you picked up somewhere.
You're still not going to believe me, even if someone else already died, no?
You know that's not what I'm trying to get at.
What if Zach comes next? Or Ashton? Or you? This isn't some criminal you can just gun down or put to jail. Did you see what she did to Rose? We're all completely powerless against her, and you still won't listen!
Isabella, enough already. Where are you anyway? At home? Of course you're at home. I'm coming over.
Forget it. The same. They're all the same no matter how much you warn them. I let the phone slide off from my grip and turn my attention to the news. Never mind that Becca's still on the line. She's never going to listen anyway. They never will. I'm all alone in this. At the end of the day, no matter how gloomy the headlines are, it's still a better...
The Luxbourne Police Department continues its search for the following reported missing people.
Hold on a second. Missing? Aren't they? Still, I've got to check. Frantically, I open my laptop. The loud tapping of my fingers against the keys fills the room for the rest of the day as I look through everything. The background about the place, its history from the current owners, and list of employees hired under BRC. The night has fallen by the time I finish going through my copies of the documents in our database. And I'm right. Of course I am. BRC may have a lot of staff, they may have a lot of agents hired under their company, but I'll remember those faces anywhere. After all, they're also part of the crew who worked with us in preparing the mansion for the open house. Then the letters... That can't be. I hope it's not what I'm thinking.
But Rose is...
My train of thought gets cut off when arms envelop me from behind. I can't help but laugh. When Becca says she's going to do something, you can be sure she'll do it.
You didn't have to come over, you know. You have classes tomorrow, don't you? And I'm sorry, okay? I didn't mean to yell. I just didn't want what happened to Rose to happen to you, Zach, and Ashton. I wouldn't forgive myself. I think I figured out something too. Listen, Rebecca, sorry. I need to answer that. I've skipped work today. Rose is gone and my boss is probably beyond furious. No doubt that's him calling.
She doesn't budge. Is she still angry? The phone's still ringing in the background.
Rebecca? What's gotten into you?
You've unlocked a memory fragment. So I think we just moved to Chapter 2. So if you want to see the various branching paths, so right here is the QuickTime event. If you lose, it's game over. So whenever you see a branch like this, that signifies that there's a game over there. I don't know if they're storyline dependent, if it's just based off of a QuickTime event or what have you, but you can see the different things. It looks like whatever route we choose, well, apparently I just chose the top ones because right here we have one where I went the route less traveled with the whole "you're not my mom" thing. But then if you go further along, you'll see here, so this is go home. So I think this is the theater where you can stick with them and you have different events. Then over here we have another branch. No Ashton. Which one do you choose? I guess that's something about going out to eat. Then I don't remember there being 3 choices here. Question, what's the point? So as you can see, there's a lot of stuff we kind of missed. And I might go back and record some of these. Like I said, I'm going to try the jerk route first, where I'm pushing everyone away and stuff. But you'll notice there's another game over type thing here. So ending 2, decline her offer. But there are multiple ways to get to Hannah's event. So I don't know if she's actually dead or what exactly. That's one of those things we're going to have to find out in the next video. So now that you know what it looks like here, I'm not going to pull up Hannah's until the end of her chapter, and then we'll see what's there and whether or not we actually want to go back and try a different route. So without further ado, I'm the Dark Hero. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.